Today's edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox is brought to you by 26 Degrees Brewing Company in Pompano Beach.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome fave with shafafa on.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition and another week of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Oh, man, are we in a great mood today? Panthers win Game 7 last night. Journalism reigns supreme in the Preakness. Defoe's man, Umberto Rispoli, who we spoke to last week. Unbelievable race. But first, we've got to say welcome aboard. We've got a new Lunchbox sponsor. We met him a couple of weeks ago. Actually, we didn't meet him. We met his collaborating chef partner. But this is Jonathan. He is the proprietor owner of 26 Degrees Brewing Company in Pompano Beach, 2600 East Atlantic Boulevard. And I can't believe it's been almost 10 years since this brewery has been open, but a new wrinkle just 1 month ago, food service. And look what we have in front of us, lunch on the Lunchbox. Defo, hi. And Jonathan, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Good. I'm great. Thanks for coming by.
Defo, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I did a walk of life. It's deathly hot outside. I had my usual Budweiser after, but I tried to save some room because I knew we were coming here, and I've always been curious about this place. I know the professor who may or may not, hopefully he'll be on the show because he's a connoisseur of this sort of thing and a restaurateur in his own right. But I was thinking 26 degrees sounds just about right for, and you have an offering here, and one of these offerings came with a warning. Yes, which was great. And that's naturally the first one I'm going to grab is this 9.4%.
I want to see you chug it, Defo.
I could very easily.
Did you chug back in the day at Syracuse?
I was not really that big of a beer drinker until late in my Syracuse lifetime. But they had a place called the Varsity that for 3 years couldn't draw flies. It was like an old cafeteria type of place. It was on Marsh Street, which was the main drag there. And then he changed it to a pizza beer place, and then everybody started chugging pitchers, but I was never really a big beer drinker.
Well, now it's hard not to be a beer drinker because the whole revolution of craft brewing where things are brewed on site. So the days of getting a choice between Schlitz, Schaefer, and Peels.
I'll chug one if you'll chug one.
I love
Jonathan's
I mean, which one are you going to chug? The 9.4?
Well,
Hold on.
I'm going to let
me see.
Jonathan describe.
First of all, you've got some beer flights here. And give a little beef. Before we get into the new food
Sure.
service, I mean, 10 years of brewing some beers means you're doing something right. You also brew for a lot of other places locally.
Yep.
Some that are, open about it. Some, I guess, not.
Yep.
But just talk about your background, how many beers you're brewing here, and what do we got in front of us?
Well, let's start with what we have in front of us. Starting from my right to my left, we have Captain Ron, which is our traditional wheat ale. American wheat ale.
I'll take a sip of that. Just,
go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
Do I have the same thing, or do I have a completely different?
You have
Okay,
different
good, because I'm allergic to wheat beer. I start sneezing uncontrollably if I drink wheat
No
beer.
wheat for
very
you.
nice, very nice.
Then we have IPA 1A, which is our house IPA. It's
Do I
one
have
of
to
the
do
beers
them all?
we're
Yes.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Sip them all.
You sat
You
there.
could give one-word critiques too.
Yeah.
No, that was good. That was good.
IPA 1A is very citrusy. It uses Citra
Oh,
hop.
different.
Then we have Thirst Control Pilsner, which is our house Pils.
That's going to be a default.
That's going to be
favorite.
my favorite.
Yep, that's going to be easy.
I'm a Budweiser guy.
Yep.
I know that's very pedestrian and seems like a disgrace to even mention it here. But
No.
I'm not opposed to new things. I'm open to new things.
No,
So
nothing
here we go.
nothing wrong with a Budweiser every now and then when there's no
That's
water
great.
around.
That is great.
When there's no water around.
Yeah.
I love that.
That is
That's
a nice
great.
extrapolation.
No, that's
on that.
easy. I knew
That's
he'd
really
love
good.
that one. What's the last but not least?
Last is Zico's Rage. It's award-winning
You have to
Imperial
chug
Stout.
also, man. If I'm going to chug this one.
Yeah,
It's a
he'll be
stout,
drinking.
0.4.
9.2% Imperial Stout.
And what does he have
And
that's
who
the
is
equivalent?
Zico and what pissed him off?
Zico was an angry turtle, an angry turtle that was rescued by one of the turtle rescues here on the
How
on
did
the
he
coast.
become part of 26 Degrees Brewing Law?
that-
Lore?
Yeah, my partner, Greg Lieberman, who volunteered at this rescue center, and nobody could touch this turtle. He was the only one that was able to.
It's kind of like me after not eating for
Yeah,
12 hours.
Maybe.
Yeah.
He was hangry.
Angry turtle.
But yeah, that's where that name came from.
Okay, Zico's Rage. And what do I got
So
here? Do I have a
you-
Zico's Rage
You
too?
do not, but you
Okay.
have equally high alcohol beers.
Which
over there.
is
good.
So we'll go from
Duval
Hanover-
Devil.
Duval Devil. It's
Yeah,
like
that's
David Duval.
a Belgian. No,
Oh.
not
Like
like
Jack,
David
like
Duval.
Oh, like Duval.
Yeah.
The
Oh, okay.
Trappist
Yes.
monk beer.
Yes, very
Is this
similar.
a strong one?
That is pretty strong.
Is this,
Yeah.
is this a chug, Mayo Man?
Yeah, we're gonna chug this, and I
All
just
right.
did my Ozempic shot, so there might be some very ill effects
All
later,
right,
but
good.
we're
That's
gonna
always-
do it.
It's
Thanks
okay.
for a good
It'll
show.
work.
Here you go.
All right, and here's to the Panthers
There we go.
advancing.
Winners.
Are you a Panther fan?
I am.
And
Ready?
here's to
To the Lunchbox, a
Zeke's-
new sponsor. Yeah.
Zeke's Revenge and Duval's Rage. No,
Duval
Zeke's-
Devil and
Duval.
Zico's Rage.
Here we go. Cheers.
You haven't even had one beer yet.
Salute,
Already
exactly.
mixing up the names.
All right. So what do we have next in order?
my
there?
chugging
Next,
days.
we have
Jonathan?
That's a delicious
meetings
beer.
over. Meetings
love this.
over.
Wait,
was,
wait a minute. What
double
was
IPA.
that? I mean,
He's slacking.
I-
Defo did pound it. Good
I
for
go
you.
pussied out.
9.4 and he goes nothing.
Oh wow.
Wow, man.
All right. I'll
He's
finish
showing
my
you-
Duval.
What am I, just a
Devil.
guinea
Showing
pig
you
on
up.
this show, man? Or what is going on here?
You came up with the chugging thing. No one even wanted to see Defo chug. Good job. You did
There
it.
you go. Now we're
Oh,
talking.
this is
We're
going
going
to get
back to
ugly.
college.
Yeah.
This is going to be an
And
ugly
So then
edition.
we have meetings over, which is
like
our
that.
double IPA.
That's like, oh, okay. I love
And
an IPA.
then we
Meeting's
have
over. I
yep.
like the name. Who came up with that? That's pure.
There's a story about that
Okay.
name, but I'll have to tell you after we're off
what's
the air.
what's the ABV in this one?
9.4.
Holy
Nice.
shit!
Yeah.
It's like we're
Yeah.
scoring a diving competition or something.
Exactly.
Fantastic, yeah. Never mind alcohol content.
Oh, that's good.
You can't sip.
I'm
that,
an
though.
IPA guy.
Yeah.
And this is very good.
Good.
I like the
Glad you like it.
Citra hops,
Yep.
all that stuff.
And the food looks very creative too.
Scotch the Monster, which is another 9% beer.
Oh God.
Yep.
Wow.
And then Jared's Batch, which is 5.5% beer.
So the Scotch
Lubie
is,
went in on
is a
I'm
stout.
letting you
also?
go.
no,
I'll
no.
get in.
The
It's a-
Scotchness is a Scotch ale. It's a
Scotch
style
ale.
of
Maybe I'll
beer.
get
Yeah.
something for Ken and I.
I'm already shaking. I think I need a meeting.
Already.
All right.
Oh my god.
That's smooth. I'm going to pass this up.
Yeah.
Professor is waiting in the
I was
wings.
gonna see if
I
we can
think
do
he'll like-
another flight, and
Yeah.
he and I will.
I don't know why.
I know you don't
I
have
got the
all of it
shakes.
here, so.
So I'm
Absolutely.
curious. How long does it take you to develop these things, and where do the ideas come from?
For beers,
Yeah.
you got to drink a bunch of beers, and then you come up with new ideas for new beers.
I like that.
But most of the beers take 12 to 14 days to go from grain to glass.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's not that. Okay, that's not
Yeah.
nowhere
And
near
you
as long as
have
I thought.
full brewing tank facilities
We have
here.
a full brew house. Brew house is 30 barrels. So we brew 30 barrels at a time. A barrel is 31 gallons. So we brew about 1,000 gallons every batch.
Oh wow.
And then we have some double batches that are 60 barrels, so 2,000 gallons. That's most of what we do for Flanagan's goes in those 60 barrel fermenters.
Mhm.
So you do not only for here, but it is a brew house for many different establishments around the area.
Yeah, well, we're a distributing brewery, so we produce beer for not only ourselves but some of our contracting partners and some restaurants like Flanagan's.
Okay.
Now, we talk about Flanagan's because it's right next door.
It's right
and
next
when I pulled in earlier this month when we did the Sun Sentinel matzo ball tasting competition, are you as surprised as me that a man of such great taste, a Michelin, recommended restaurant, mignonette, Danny Surfer, your friend
Yep.
from a long time ago from
Yep.
school, who has now helped develop this kitchen concept menu.
Yep.
That, I put him on this judging panel and it's a blind tasting of matzo balls. And somehow on the top of his ballot, 2J's landed atop his ballot, and 2J's was the blind tasting winner. I was a little shocked. But have you ridiculed him for this? Or no?
I try not to ridicule him because I know how he gets.
Oh no, I love to ridicule him, and then he loves to take my money.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got
the cheeses here are great.
Yep.
And what did you do to these little tomatoes? They're fantastic.
Oh, they shrunk down. These are
Like
some
pickled or
sweet-
something?
No,
these are actually called
Those are peppers or something, right?
Mhm.
they're why am I everything's escaping me because I chugged a beer, but they're called peppadew. And
Chug
they're-
another one. No, really,
I will. No, but these are peppadews, which is kind of like little teardrops.
Yep.
It's more in the pepper family.
That's what I thought,
It's like
yeah.
a sweet red
Really
pepper.
good. Yeah,
Delicious. So this, all right.
that's a great.
I'm all over the place. I'm going to start chugging more.
Is it
of it.
okay to rip into this?
Yeah,
pretzel?
go
Yeah,
for
go
it.
for it.
Yeah, the food is here for a reason.
And,
Which
and,
is
that mustard
food-wise-
is calling my name.
Yeah, we've got.
Oh.
Well, we're going to meet in the next segment with Chef Fergus,
Okay.
who got hired. I guess you and Danny came up with the menu or the.
Yeah,
How did it work? You
the-
first said enough of having trucks outside because you've been here a while, and that's how it used to be. But take me to the process of how you got here now with a full, beautiful kitchen and a great menu, lunch and dinner 7 days. Yes.
Yep. Lunch and dinner 7 days. Danny and I have been discussing the menu for a little over 3 years, I believe,
Oh, wow.
until we actually cooked something.
Okay.
The idea for the kitchen came pre-COVID. COVID slowed
Wow.
everybody down, slowed me down, slowed every business down. So we put a pin in it, and once post-COVID, we decided we had to get going and make a change. Breweries aren't doing as well as they used to. Tap rooms only, at least they're not doing as well as they used to. So we said, if we want to stay in business, we want to stay in Pompano, we want to keep providing the community a place to come hang out. We got to offer them some sustenance, right? And
it seems to be the trend because it used to be you would have these microbreweries and breweries that just had beer, and then sometimes they might have a couple of bar snacks and pretzel or something like that. But people want more these days, and for a while it was bringing in the food trucks, and there's still great places that do that. But
a lot of these kind of places actually launched some good food trucks, right? Jeffrey Eats was launched at that.
Yeah, Jeffrey Eats
that was I think it was a different type of brewery.
Well, he's been he's still located outside a brewery in Boca Raton. And then he was at that Cider Works place that didn't make it, which I liked some of their work and stuff.
Me too.
But again, Chef Fergus actually did some time working at what used to be my local Three Sons Brewing in Dania, and Chef Nikolai, who started the food program there, and they did very well at the beginning. They got national recognition with what's his face, Guy Fieri coming on.
What's his face? Did he lose a lot of weight? He must be shooting some big O.
He's probably doing the big O. He's got $120
the
million
guy lost
contract.
100 pounds.
But anyway, Three Sons brought in kitchen, nice menu, and then also the Funky Buddha, Jeff Vincent, who is a highly regarded chef. They have a full kitchen, so I think it's great and about time that you guys here 10 years in launched this a month ago. And looking at the menu, I mean, there's some really creative stuff on here. Just talk about the wings. You got
we got some griot wings.
You got to try one.
They're fantastic. They're one of my favorite things on the menu.
Divine, absolutely. Their aroma's great.
And griot is
pretzel. By the way, is a home run.
So it's actually a charcuterie board.
That's fantastic.
This is a charcuterie board on a pretzel. This idea actually came from Dave, our GM. Who did some research up in Orlando and found some similar dishes.
Very creative, though. I mean, the way you put this together, great presentation.
Yep, we put our own take on it. We have the beer cheese, we have the fig jam, and the mustard.
I went into the griot.
Yeah,
I'm a flats guy, and I eat it. I guess the
you're doing like in a cartoon, like a cat in a cartoon.
Is that the proper way?
I think that's the proper way.
I mean, Lubie always ridicules me. No, you go instead of going like this, you go.
Yeah, that's the way I do it.
But he'll eat the bones.
Now the griot is a Haitian, flavors where you have the Scotch bonnet peppers, so it's a little bit, you got the spice of your traditional buffalo chicken wing with a completely more South Florida and I would say Caribbean flavors in it. It's beautiful. That's the first time I'm tasting that.
Yeah.
And I love it. And I'm going to do, let's chug another beer.
Perfect combination.
You know what? I've already nailed 2 of these out of the 4. So
I want to get you sloshed.
That doesn't take much at this point, but really, this is fantastic. The flavors on the food are great.
Yeah,
people, you just had this on Let's Eat South Florida, 200,000 strong.
Oh, thank you for mentioning that. I forgot.
Somebody was asking, where can I watch the games in a place, upscale sports bar, whatever. This isn't necessarily a sports bar, but look, at the arrangement of the screens is perfect, where they could see the games from their table and get some really good food. I think you wrote the prescription here for that. Fantastic job.
Have you been showing games when they're on?
We do show the games when they're on. We don't have the game packages, but we do show anything that comes up on
over the air. And again, the rest
TV.
of the way it's going to be on I think TNT and ESPN. So you get those. So this will be a hot spot for hockey for the next couple of weeks. And again, not only am I washed this shirt before the game yesterday. it didn't see the washing machine for it was like almost I think 8 or 9 days since
You
they
had to
lost.
get out of Game 7 before you watched the thing. For
Well,
sure.
no, I had to wash the loss out of it. Again, I have very odd superstitions, Jonathan.
yes, you do.
and I'm a gambler, and
Not that he's quirky in any
No,
way.
no, not at
I
all.
don't know.
so you know what it was on game days and the days following the games. I would be wearing this shirt, and I don't wash it until they lose. So it went a stretch of 3 games without being washed, and it was getting a little ripe. I apologize to Tony
yeah, they
Segreto
lost.
at 10 Palms at Gulfstream on Friday.
But
He
they
had to
lost
sit next
Friday.
to me. He caught a couple of whiffs, and he says, "You might want to think." I was like, "Well, it depends if the Panthers lose tonight." So I remembered I did a staycation. I came back yesterday, and it was in the laundry bin. And it was like 2 hours before game time. Went into the laundry, washed that loss right out of there. Came out for game
Looks fresh.
7.
Oh, looks
So
fresh.
I've got that, and I've got the playoff. I don't know if you could call this a beard. It's kind of a collection of follicles that just
It's not
pop out of my
necessarily,
face.
something. I mean, it's very spooky what he's got going
No,
there. Yeah.
I might be going down the same path.
It's salt and pepper.
Yeah.
More
By the way, the
salt.
mustard is dynamite.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Great.
So I said and I started a little late. It was probably midway through the first round, but the NHL players' superstition. A lot of them that get into the playoffs, they stop shaving once they're in the playoffs,
Yes.
and they don't stop until they get eliminated. So, in solidarity with our Panthers, I said I am not going to shave until they get bounced out of the playoffs. Their Stanley Cup defense continues. They will
Yes.
be playing more games and Eastern Conference Finals against the Carolina Hurricanes. That's going to be fun. And you can use
I mean, here,
Yeah.
how many more do you have? My favorite sign in all of Pompano Beach is beers to go.
Yeah.
Fireworks.
We package all our own beer, so we have a canning line that's over that way, and we sell beers to go. You can swing by, pick up a 4-pack of any one of your favorite beers that we
Drive
have.
through or how's
I don't know
that?
about drive-through. Maybe drive up.
It's not
Maybe
a
drive
farm
up.
store. Remember the
Drive
farm
up.
How many
store?
people have
Yes. There's
driven
still one
right
by
through,
Yes.
the
Well,
window?
in Tallahassee, we have Mike's Beer Barn, and
Yes,
that was drive up.
Yes,
There you go.
I remember that.
All right, so I know I'm all over the place, but you and Danny Surfer, who we know and who helped develop the menu
Yep.
and helped hire Chef Fergus,
Yep.
you go way back, right?
Yeah,
Tell
yeah,
us your
we,
background.
We both went to school together at U School
Oh,
University
wow.
school.
Yeah.
That's in Davie.
in Davie.
Was elementary or middle school? or-
Middle and high. Well,
Okay.
I went to high there.
I bet he was
transferred
high
out.
back then.
You have to ask him about that.
He's in recovery now,
Yes, yes,
as
yes.
is Chef Fergus. And it's
Yes.
interesting. I think it's very wise to hire chefs in recovery at a brewery because they
Yep.
won't drink
Yeah.
all the
The,
profit.
the profits are staying solid.
And Fergus is open about it, and
Yeah.
he's active in the recovery community, which I
Yes.
love to see.
Yep.
And again, but the food here so far so great. I
Good.
had a gator bite,
Yeah.
and do people
Nice.
get squeamish about gator bites, or Floridians and South
It's
Floridians are used to it?
I
common.
think it's pretty common. I think people enjoy the aspect of eating some of our natural.
Well, what I've
Uh,
noticed is that if you like fry anything in a tasty batter, they'll eat shoe leather. But this is better than shoe
No,
leather.
it's legit.
Gator,
Yes.
it tastes like chicken, yes,
Yes, yeah.
but it's a little bit more tender.
Yep.
And
Yep.
the dipping sauces are beautiful.
All the sauces are made in house.
Another curiosity for me is
Yep.
beer cheese.
Beer cheese. Yeah.
So what's the story on that? I was at Keeneland the first time, and we went to some place in Kentucky, and this guy, seemed to be of some sort of hillbilly nature, and he says, "You guys got to try the beer cheese," and that was the first time I ever had it. So, give us a little history on that, and then what distinguishes one good beer cheese from another?
It's all in the touch, right? You got to have the right amount of beer and the right beer.
Are you
to
a
put
beer
in there.
cheese guy, Mike Mayo, food critic extraordinaire?
I'm an everything cheese guy.
Do you believe this guy? We haven't even talked, and it's a new week here, but the guy is going to $1,000 fancy schmancy dinner somewhere.
I went to the
$1,000 a
Alinea pop-up at the Faena Hotel
Okay.
in South.
But he begins
Alinea
the day-
in Chicago.
Yep.
Fancy pants. Yeah,
You
go ahead.
might start with like an English muffin and think, okay, I'm just going to have something so I can make it to the dinner. He goes to Skyland Chili first, which I
For
mean
lunch.
smacks of beer cheese to me. I don't know why. It's not even in the same vicinity of the country. But
Let me explain and
how did
defend
that go?
myself. First of all, have you been to
No,
Skyline
it's no
Chili?
shame. I respect
And
it.
do you approve or disapprove?
I-
I understand.
I approve. I
polarizing.
approve.
I
I
think
approve.
it's a great it's an acquired taste.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the way I would call it.
Yeah.
'Cause it's not horrible. It's just
It is what
It's
it is.
interesting.
It's a Cincinnati icon.
Yep.
It's totally misnamed. It should not be called chili. It's Greek meat spaghetti sauce. It's a meat sauce on top of spaghetti with Greek spices and flavors, including cinnamon. Which
Percentage of people that were at this dinner that
Yep.
started out the day at Skylight Chili.
0.0. And let me
There is no thinking about
with apologies. I want to make this quick, but
Was anybody
because I want to
upset with you?
focus
I
on the
mean-
food here. No, and I didn't post it on the group yet. All right, so Let's Eat South Florida, which I started when I was still at the Sun Sentinel as their critic and 2 other editors. We had this. Somebody thought it was a good idea. Let's start a Facebook group about food and restaurants, and that was in October of 2018. Here we are, not quite 7 years later.
Wow.
200,000. It's bigger than most cities in Broward. I
Yeah.
mean, it's crazy how this thing
It's bigger
is
than
going.
U.S. Steel.
It's bigger than US. It's become a force for hopefully mostly good, sometimes evil. Sometimes I want to punch my computer screen when people, like people who are complaining, oh, they charged me $18 for Tito's and grapefruit. I was like, well, first of all, it would be 25 if you were down in, Las Olas and 30 in Miami. So 18 is good these days.
Yeah.
But, always ask for a menu and always ask what the prices are. And if you can't afford it, you can always just walk
that's
out.
fine.
All right. Number 2, we hit 200,000 on Saturday. To reward myself, my girlfriend.
Was there a warrant for the 200,000th customer?
No, I get
No?
bupkis for that.
No, not you, but
That
I'm talking about the
person.
person.
Oh,
that
you know
was.
what? We should have had.
How did that
but
not
I didn't know
gain
who the
some distinction?
200,000th person was because Facebook doesn't tell you. It just shows the number.
You know what's great? This 9.4%.
Yeah, it's great.
We've
It's not gonna
never
be on-
slurred so much speech on this show in the history of the show.
Oh, we'll make it another round really quickly.
All right, just to reset, we're at 26 Degrees Brewing Company in Pompano Beach, 2600 East. What is it?
Is the
East.
key word.
East
Yeast.
Atlantic Boulevard.
East Atlantic.
East Atlantic
Boulevard.
Boulevard.
Yes,
I can't
yes. We
believe
are
how
east
much
of
these
Federal
beers
Highway
are hitting me.
in Pompano Beach. Yes.
And getting back to the other point, and I'm all over the place.
Never mind the point.
I'm doing the weave today.
Yes, you're
I'm going to
weaving.
get back to the
You're bobbing and weaving
Skyline
like Ali.
Alinea double, going
There's
from
a lot
a
there.
$10 bowl of chili spaghetti to a $1,000 a head dinner.
You cannot not address
And
this.
you know what I would sooner return to?
Oh,
a $10 bowl.
It really
of
was
chili.
that
It
questionable.
wasn't bad. It
Yeah, but
was
for
just.
$1,000.
A buck,
That's my
I mean,
problem with the $1,000 is
for,
how
for
does
a dime, it better be
It was
like mind blowing.
kitschy.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
creative. It was whimsical. I would
Whimsical.
describe it as whimsical.
When you're
food.
describing a meal as whimsical, you got robbed.
And it's what
$1,000 for this.
I can't deny Grant Ashet's, and he was there that night. The big celebrity chef.
Okay.
He didn't come near my table.
He
But
better not have even shown up in the dining room.
He was doing his Jackson Pollock dessert with a spread. You know what? I'll talk about that more later.
Yeah.
What I want to talk about is we're going to take our first break.
Yep.
We're going to come back with the chef,
Fergus, yeah.
Fergus. We're going to have some other food here. We're going to let Defo go off to the side with Ken,
I'm
the
okay, man.
professor.
Yeah, can I
And-
take some of this?
Yeah, you
Sure.
can take anything.
All right.
And they're going to lament the fact that a dentist won the PGA championship yesterday.
You,
also
you
known
have
as
to have the
Scotty
professor
Scheffler.
on the show, though. I mean, I hope he's coming
At
on.
some point,
We're
we'll
gonna do
get
our
him.
best
He's
to
the
get him on,
We'll do a
master of
last
this.
segment. He
Yeah.
loves to rag on Scotty Scheffler.
It's not even that.
No, but he's a
he's
big-
the king
Oh,
of
he's a
these
beer
kind
guy.
of brewers.
He's a
And he
huge
used to
beer
be a
Restaurateur.
proprietor
Yeah.
across the street, foundry that he
Yes.
is no longer involved in. So he'll be spending more time here. Jonathan, I'm completely lost. Can we take our first break?
Yeah, go for
All
it.
right. And then, you know what I wanted to mention though? Flanagan's is next door, and everybody says, "Oh, they have their great lunch specials and $6.99 for
Yeah.
a burger." Except there's a catch.
Yep.
You gotta get a drink with
Yes.
it, and it's a soft drink. It's not
Yes.
even a beer.
Yep.
So by the time you add on the drink,
Yep.
and you add on the tax, and you add on the tip,
It's like $12.
you're looking at 15 with
Yeah.
the tip.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, after tip, $15.
And you decided when you got this food service that you're going to have a lunch special too,
Yeah.
right? And,
Yeah.
And what is your lunch?
Our lunch special is $15.99. It
Wow.
includes
includes a beer
Good idea.
or a soft drink if you're not
right.
an alky like me. Yeah. And it comes with the chips and the sandwich, or there's
It's
quite
like
a
a
few
side
options.
dish and a fries
Yeah,
and
there's,
all that.
there's
or
quite a few
chips.
options
Yeah.
at $15.99, which is basically $1 or $2 more, I guess, than what
When,
you would pay
when
at
you
Your
Flanagan's.
factor it
level of
out, I
food.
mean, you got to put in the tip. So you're
Yeah.
looking at 20 here versus 15 there for $5 more.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the difference between going to a fast food joint and
Yep.
going to, a place that has
Legit
quality
food, yeah.
food. And to me, I'm a guy who actually, I didn't. My girlfriend spent $1,000, but I happily spend
Well,
the
was
five.
she okay that you weren't happy with this? Or
We were on the same page.
Oh, okay. All right.
Let me give you one example. They brought out this dish. And there was some spectacular
Was it a
bites.
palate
So it's a
cleanser
great lunch
thing?
special here.
Yeah,
at
I guess
26
I guess
degrees.
they would consider it a palate cleanser, but it was like the third course after they had the fancy caviar.
What, they
dish.
give you a turpentine?
Caviar. No, it was grapes in this like a dish that had a combination of milk and Chardonnay.
What?
My
And
favorite
and
combination.
it looked like it looked
I
like
Jonathan's
it
face.
looked like
He doesn't want to slam another restaurateur, but he's
we took these bites. It was like grapes in milk with a little wine essence, and we
And
just
you're
looked at
thinking
each
this
other
was
like,
a dime.
and I'm thinking it's like this seemed like an accident in my elementary school cafeteria where
Right?
somebody's
When they poured everything in the
bag
thing
of
and-
grapes
yeah,
fell
yeah.
into somebody's bowl of milk or something like that, and it was just like, huh? But I guess as a palate cleanser in the middle of 11 courses, maybe I don't want to rag
At
on
what
any
point
of-
in the meal were you thinking I got robbed? What course?
Early
There were
on,
12
early.
courses. Did you get to 6?
No, but by the
No, we didn't get to
we
6.
kept going all the way through. There was a wonderful bite. It was called the Black Truffle Explosion.
There you go.
That was wonderful. But there was something called charred char that was like a charred piece of Arctic char.
Yeah.
And then he flipped over the thing, and it was like a pudding that had like carrots and some roe and stuff
That's
like
when
that.
you knew you
But
got
the
robbed?
charred char was like a reduction. It was like a concentrated fish that they kind of emulsified, packed into this little thing, and they grilled. Let's Eat South Florida about whether pizza is burnt or charred. Well, this char was burnt, and yeah.
So you could have got a pie over at the pizza spot.
Yeah,
You would have been
I would have been
just
much
as happy.
But it was still a wonderful.
you would have welcomed your
experience.
birthday in a better fashion.
26 Degrees Brewing.
This is great.
This is a place where you
Wow,
will not
wow,
feel
wow. This
like
is
you
great.
got
Hosed,
fleeced or
as they say.
hosed. And man, these griot wings are fantastic.
Yeah.
The alligator bites are great, and I still haven't gotten into the.
You really need to,
board.
because
And
the
so what it's like on a
presentation's
pretzel.
fantastic.
It's like
yeah.
It's on a pretzel. It's a giant pretzel.
Although that pretzel
which
won't
we-
be there once I get up.
Yeah.
So I'm taking it with me.
We,
and I love the meats. You got the fine prosciuttos and salamis and the pepperdew peppers, which is a real foodie thing, and the little gherkin.
Only first
Yeah, they got
class.
the beer cheese.
Yeah.
with
Cornichons. These are called
Cornichon,
cornichons.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm
There.
getting down back into the gut. I'm going to take a bite. We're going to take our first break. We're going to say thanks to Defo, and we're going to bring on Chef Fergus after the first of
Chef Fergus
breaks.
looks like he's a little reluctant to come on here. No.
like he's going to the chair.
After seeing the first segment.
Oh, that's good. We're having fun on Monday. Congrats to the Panthers. We'll be back after these words. For the finest poultry and the freshest fish, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, open 7 days. Since 1951, a South Florida tradition for stone crab in season, Thanksgiving turkeys, holiday feasts, and everyday eating. Great steaks, house-made sausage, and prepared foods, too. Delaware is not just a market, it's a celebration of taste, quality, and old-fashioned customer service with a smile. Sign up for their weekly email flyer at DelawareChicken.com and tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a great bagel with lox, matzo ball soup, deli sandwich, and rugelach, you know where I go? Grandpa's Restaurant in Dania Beach. It's a South Florida institution since 1957 that was revamped a few years back by a pair of New York bagel baking legends. Full deli and appetizing case with spreads, salads, and platters for takeout and catering. Grandpa's is near Federal Highway, just north of Sterling Road, open 7 days for breakfast and lunch. Go eat and enjoy. It's Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. For the finest and authentic Greek cuisine, Taverna Kima is the place to go. 6298 North Federal Highway in Boca Raton. It's been around for nearly 2 decades. Every day is a feast with grilled lamb and fish, house-made spinach pie and moussaka, gyros, traditional dips, mezes, with soft, warm pita. It's open 7 days for lunch and dinner with happy hour daily from 3 to 6 p.m., indoor, outdoor, private dining. So celebrate life at Taverna Kima. For reservations and information, go to tavernakima.com. When I get a craving for real Southern barbecue, Fat Boy's Barbecue is the place that I call home. Cooked low and slow with proper smoke and dry rub goodness, Fat Boy's has some of the best ribs, brisket, burnt ends, pulled pork, and chicken around. 5 delectable sauces and the tastiest collard greens, candied yams, and cornbread this side of heaven. 4 locations, including Deerfield, Coral Springs, Cypress Creek Road, and their newest location in downtown Fort Lauderdale, 706 South Federal Highway. Open 7 days with great lunch specials, online ordering, delivery, catering, and food trucks for your next event. To order, go to fatboysbarbecue.com today. That's fat. The finest quality, warm hospitality, and world-class creativity. Those are the ingredients that make Daniel's, a Florida steakhouse, a special place. Come experience the restaurant that's Michelin Guide recommended and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved, with an impressive collection of steaks, seafood, and more, like their foie gras creme brulee. Daniel's is located at 620 South Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, just south of the New River Tunnel, open Tuesday through Sunday for dinner. For reservations and information, go to danielssteak.com. Hey, it's Mayo here for Prezzo Italian Restaurants. 2 locations, Boca Raton at Park Place on Military Trail and Palm Beach Gardens in the PGA Commons on PGA Boulevard. Contemporary Italian cuisine with house-made pastas, wood-fired pizzas, salads, veal, chicken, and of course their famous focaccia bread with oven-roasted garlic bulbs. In Garlic We Trust is their slogan, and you can trust Prezzo for a great experience with gracious service and tremendous value. Open 7 days, featuring brunch, lunch, dinner, and happy hour. Great wine deals and full bar at both locations. For reservations and more information, go to eatprezzo.com. A tradition for South Florida sports fans for more than 30 years, Shenanigans. It's at 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach, the place to go for all your favorite teams and events and food that's not your ordinary sports bar fare. Award-winning wings, burgers, fresh fish, and more, TV screens galore, and all-day happy hour specials. The kitchen and bar are open into the wee hours, perfect for late-night bites and very close to the airport. For playoff action, football season, and a All right, we're back on the Lunchbox. We're at 26 Degrees Brewing Company in Pompano Beach, 2600 East Atlantic Boulevard. And it gives me great pleasure to welcome to the Lunchbox the chef here at 26 Degrees as they have debuted food service, lunch, dinner, everything in between, 7 days a week. And he is originally from Ireland, but now he's a Floridian. His name is Fergus Connolly, a nice Jewish boy. No, no, I'm sorry. That's Danny Surfer. Welcome to the show, Fergus. How are you today? Let me just make sure the mic is up there.
I'm excellent.
You're looking resplendent.
Thank you.
And how's it going? 4 weeks in on the food service here, and so far so great as far as what I've tasted.
Yeah, it's been good. We've received a lot of positive feedback on the food.
Nice.
A lot of the items on the menu were curated by Chef Danny.
Yep.
He's kind of been mentoring me through the transition into the executive chef role here, and he's been great.
Yes.
And it's been great here. Jonathan's been wonderful, the whole team, the whole staff.
Yes. Chef Danny Surfer, who operates restaurants in Miami-Dade Mignonette, which is Michelin Guide recommended, and Blue Collar, which recently moved to New Digs. We did a show there last month. Fantastic comfort food, and he's brought some of that comfort food, but you brought some of your homeland here too in terms of the things like the pies and the sausage stew. Can you just talk about, I guess, the collaborative process and how you all came up with what you're serving here?
Again, some of the items were curated by Danny. I think my Irish influence shows in the brewer's pies. We do a lamb brewer's pie, and we also do a chicken brewer's pie, which is chicken prosciutto and leeks in a cream sauce, and the Irish stew. It's Irish bangers, roasted potatoes in a sauce that we use Rage. And
I just love the name of that beer, but I can't
Yep.
believe it's named after an angry turtle.
and smoked bacon and caramelized onions.
Nice. That looks delicious. I'm going to dive into that. And in the middle here, we have
Yeah, that's the lamb brewer's pie.
lamb brewer's pie, which
Yes.
is, I guess, traditional kind of, with the, what they call it, a pasty or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, exactly. It's it's a flaky pastry dough. You call it like a pasty.
Yeah. Back in the day, pasties were something that went on the
That's,
boobs at the strip clubs in the cities where they didn't allow full nudity.
yeah, I don't
but
think they use those anymore.
no,
Sorry, you go right in there. It's there.
And then last but not least, this is the thing when Danny told me what he was developing and he sent me some preview shots, I started salivating into the phone. Describe what we have in front of me, which I will big bite in a second.
So this is the Pompano beef dip sandwich. It's similar to a Chicago beef sandwich, but he put the blue collar twist on it with the oxtail meat. And
the oxtail. Oh,
yeah,
It's got
Oh
a
my
combination
God.
of beef and braised oxtail
Oh my
with
God.
the
Yep.
jardinera
Jardinera.
on top, which of
Correct.
course is the chopped celery, carrots, and the hot
Yeah,
peppers
yeah.
yeah.
in the vinegar sauce. And then on the side, what does he got? What you guys got?
It's au jus that again it's from the braised oxtail that we do.
Oh my
so
God.
it's
It's
very
I don't
rich.
have a spoon here, but I'm gonna just take a fork. No, it's okay.
I got
No,
one
there's
for
two
you.
there. That's perfect.
Oh my God, this thing on its own, I could eat
Braised
that.
oxtail au jus.
And I'm gonna what are you supposed to do? Ladle it on and then
Ladle
dip it.
dip
and
it.
It's a messy
Bathe in
sandwich.
it.
This
but it's
looks
supposed to be
like
messy, it's
okay.
okay.
And
Fresh
apologies
baked
to
bread.
Lubie because we're gonna have to get a fresh one for him later because I'm gonna take a big bite out of this. This
Okay,
is
that's
what we
ridiculous,
do
but
here.
okay.
I mean, I'm gonna dip the end. I'm gonna open my jaw and I'm gonna let you guys talk
I feel like
about
you're gonna get sick, so that's a fun.
your hours of service because you're open. The kitchen is basically open all day and night, right?
Yep. We start at noon and go till 10 o'clock. I believe it's 9 on Sunday, correct?
9 on Sundays.
9 on Sundays. Yeah, and we do lunch until 5 p.m. I know Jonathan spoke about the lunch specials that we're doing. But the full menu is available all day long. So if something catches your eye on the full menu, we'll make it.
That's it. And I apologize because that was a complete
I like that he
mess.
talked like normal during the whole thing. That's
He didn't even
Jonathan
drip
was
oil.
about to pass out.
I think
and
I
Fergus
squirted
is
some
just like,
juice all
yeah, we
over
have
him.
lunch and it's great, and you should check out the lunch, and then we're open till Sunday at this time. And Mayo's passing out trying to eat this.
This is a lunchbox. I'm usually able to
couldn't
unhinge
even get
my
your mouth
jaws like a cobra.
Yeah.
This
Not for this
sandwich
one.
defeated me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never
The
seen
same
him
way that
struggle.
I've defeated Ozempic. My daughter got back from Spain and I gave her the latest weigh-in. I basically have gained a pound in the last
Oh
2
my
weeks
God,
since
man.
going to Nashville. And he goes, like,
What
you're
you
the
went to
only
Nashville?
person who has been on Ozempic and gained weight. I've been trying to tell her that it's a function of me going to work out every day and my fat is
Yeah, you're
converting
gaining
to
muscle.
muscle.
Yeah, you're gaining
muscle
muscle.
weighs more than fat.
Yeah, you are getting muscle. You're working out. You're exercising.
It also might have something to do with me going around and eating things like this.
Might have something to do with it.
This is I don't usually use the word diabolical, but it's a complete compliment in my line of work. This is a diabolical sandwich that
Yep.
is, I can't curse.
Amazing. I mean, you
Yeah,
can, but
It's
it's
freaking
amazing.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Does it sell? Has it been a big hit?
Yeah, it's been popular. All the the items we have here, the lamb pie has been very popular. The brewer's pie, smash burger is another one that's just been through the roof with our sales. So
Yeah.
So let me ask you, because again, that's one thing, and we brought up Flanagan's, and there's nothing wrong with their lunch special. We've all eaten there. You do business with them. We like Flanagan's. One of our guys we're not slamming Flanagan's. We're just saying, just think for what you're spending there. You spend a few bucks more, you get just another level of quality. You just do. I mean, it's what they're doing is fine, and what you guys are doing is very different. But I'm curious because it's a brewery, and you talked about it, food trucks with tacos or some kind of a burger, or you guys are doing the staples, but you are doing some very interesting, more elevated dishes, right? Because you're doing a quote unquote chicken pot pie, but it's with lamb. The chicken one has prosciutto and cream. It's another level, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
Do you guys, when it comes to a brewery, both from ownership and from the chef standpoint, how much do you take into account? This is a brewery, we want to be adventurous, but we also know it's a brewery, because I appreciate both. So I'm just curious how much you take that into account, and what do you do with that when it comes to the food choices here?
Well, we always wanted to have an elevated option.
Okay.
The idea of just the standard pub fare was fine, and it's fine for a lot of places. But looking at our neighborhood and our neighbors and our neighboring restaurants, we said, you know what? If we just do standard pub fare, we're just going to be one more.
Yep.
If we elevate what we're offering, we're gonna be able to catch some of those customers and capture them, make them come back. Right. The idea was to not just do wings, but to do some interesting take on wings.
Yep.
To not just do a a standard pot pie, but do an elevated version of the pot pie. I don't think I've seen a sausage stew like this one anywhere.
No.
I never saw such a thing.
Yes.
That's such a dad joke. Fergus, tell us a little bit about your background. You were born in Ireland, the great Republic of Ireland.
Right, I
And,
was.
you made your way to Florida, of all places.
Yeah, so I was born in Ireland. We immigrated to the Boston area when I was about 8 years old.
Oh, wow. What part of Boston? Was it
South Shore.
South Shore? I
South
spent
Shore.
some time working at the Boston Globe in
Pretty sure that's
Dorchester.
the only place. Yeah, actually, I have some aunts and uncles that live in Dorchester.
Dot. We call
Kinda-
it Dot. Yeah.
Dorchester. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Did they say they are?
And then you made your way to Florida.
Well, I had a 10-year stint in North Carolina.
oh, my God. That's great. I'm sorry.
Where we moved to, and I moved myself to Brevard County, Melbourne, Florida. I lived there for about 15 years.
How'd you fit into the culinary and cooking scene?
I got into it while I was in high school, part of like an OJT, you know, and I just kind of stuck with it. It was out of necessity at first. You're 18. So I was 16 when I started. 18, like, I need a job, and I just always had a full-time job in the restaurant industry. I got in with a company called Zaxby's when I was in my early 20s.
Oh, yeah, they're the
Zaxby's.
chicken people. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all over North Florida.
Yeah,
Yep.
And I was
Tallahassee.
a general manager there. I started as an assistant, moved my way up, and what got me into more
Cooking.
full serve, cooking into full service restaurants was when I moved to Florida. I wanted to try my hand to move away from the administrative side and actually get into a kitchen.
Hands-on,
I had experience in full service kitchens, and I just went with it and started progressing. Worked as sous chefs. I did a sous chef position in at a Mediterranean restaurant in Brevard County for like 5 years, and
then you moved down here about 2 years ago. You spent some
Correct.
time with my friends down at Three Sons Brewing Company,
Yep.
and they do a nice job down there, mainly
Absolutely.
pizzas. But you guys got a whole lot of other things going on here,
Yeah.
which is just
I think it's impressive.
I gotta give
because
praise, Lubie. You gotta try
I'm going to try
these
all of it.
potatoes, the gravy,
Yeah.
the lamb pie, the pasty shell. Oh my God, it's
Yeah.
fantastic! And I very rarely, as a critic, am I blown away. I wasn't blown away by the grapes and milk at Alinea, but this blows me away, and it's a heck of a lot less expensive than.
Well, and that's
It's not $1,000.
no.
For sure not.
I brought up what I brought up because I think it's cool when you can do both. Like
Yes.
it's one thing I've learned on this show is that we make fun of the skyline thing, but actually we've all had food like that. Like late night, morning, afternoon, whatever you grab. And my problem with fast food is the pricing, because I think they've gone past what they're worth. So why not eat somewhere like this? It's not a shot at it's not a shot at any of that. Like, I'm the guy that's the layman on the show that's learning to open my palate, and I appreciate all levels of food. And I think when an establishment can do that, that's not only impressive, but it's important, because you realize, yes, we're getting people that just
Lubie.
want a burger, but you're getting also people.
The word
that-
is value, and
Yeah.
value. Like, I've had $300 meals that I would pay any price, and then I've had $100 meals. I said, that's garbage. That was such a waste. But
Yeah.
like, when you get something that's good,
Well, and the fact that you do a great job too is even more impressive.
this is a great value. And the
Yeah.
fact that you have lunch specials here where you get a beer included,
Which is
and
really
you're
cool.
doing some fabulous house brewed items, house made food.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna genuflect at this
Yep.
point and say thank goodness that you're keeping the brew pub scene
Yes.
alive, because I know it has been a struggle, and kids today, what's wrong with them? They're not drinking as much.
They're not. They're
That's right.
definitely not.
And-
That's
and-
interesting.
Look, there's other things. There's now medical
Yeah.
marijuana available. People are, doing more of the gummies, which helps the food sales. I guess
Yes.
it's all about driving up the average check and getting people in here to enjoy more things. And if those who might not be into alcohol, and Chef Fergus, you were open about this before, that you are in the recovery community, but
Correct.
people can come to a brewery
You get
and
great
not
food.
have to drink alcohol. They can have
Absolutely.
a great meal and a great experience without necessarily imbibing in the alcohol, right?
That's true. Yeah. I've been in recovery for 2 years now. And it was, like you said, Chef Danny, and I think we had that connection when we spoke. Like I said, he's been working with me, mentor, and I think we share that in common, and we're able to, share that bond with each other. And we understand, how that works. So, but the food, again, you can come here, have a meal with your family, and he said it, he hit the nail on the head is, we do a lot of, from scratch items that are elevated, but you can also come in and get a great burger, or the fry. Everyone's raving about the fries.
You
And
got the chicken. It's like a canoe
chicken
fry.
sandwich.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is, I don't know what you call it, but if I dip it into this
That's
au jus
insane.
that has both the
yeah.
the beef and the oxtail drippings,
ridiculous.
that's fantastic.
And even though I don't partake in the alcohol side of the business, all this food pairs well with beers.
Yep.
Like the lamb pie. That's a traditional Irish staple.
Right.
Yep.
With a stout.
pint. Yeah, stout, exactly.
Yeah, and you have some of those griot wings with a nice light, like I guess you
Thirst
would have
control
it
pilsner.
Yes.
with the pilsner.
Yep.
I mean, the pairings are there, and this is why Jonathan is here, because with Danny and Chef Fergus, not having the beers, Jonathan steps in and says, "Oh, that works." And
that's
I'll have
you
the beers.
that's his.
I drink
me
all
as
the
a
beers.
consultant. I'm going to pass this water over to Chef Fergus.
Thank you.
I'm going to just stick with
Yeah,
the
get that
beautiful
beer.
meetings over. Can you tell me the story?
Yeah, you
Jonathan,
said that
behind
Meetings
the
Over.
meetings over name.
So
of
we
the-
had a meeting with our. This might get me in trouble with our
You
distributor.
can leave names out if you want.
No, I'm not naming any names.
Yeah.
But we had a meeting with our distributor, and Florida is a 3-tier state. I don't know if you are familiar with
Hey,
3
no,
tiers.
I
we
don't
get
know what
into
it
the nitty gritty of the food and beverage industry here. So
Okay.
explain that,
That's
because
why
a
we
long
like
time
talking to you guys.
it's why things get more expensive here, because there's a middleman by
Yes.
law, right?
Yes. The law requires that we sell our product to a distributor. The distributor then turns around and sells it to my neighbor building next door.
Yeah.
I cannot deliver a keg to my building next door
Directly.
because it has to go through a distributor.
Right, because it's a racket set up by the
I was gonna
legislature,
say it sounds
thanks to political campaign
Yes.
contributions and whatnot.
distributors who didn't really need to
I'm
exist
saying
anymore.
this.
Yes.
Nobody associated with the brewery or restaurant is saying this. I'm saying this as a former journalist, and you see things and it makes your head scratch. It was the same way we couldn't order a box, a case of wine directly from a vineyard in California or Oregon. It has to go through that 3-tier system, and then they eased up on that a little bit. But it's annoying, right?
Well, the origins do make some sense. Back post prohibition, there were 3 big breweries, a lot of little distributors, right?
Mhm.
So all these little distributors building these businesses for these big breweries. Then these breweries show up and they say, "Oh, we're going to set up our own distributor." So they set up their own distributor. They kill the middle small distributor.
Yeah.
The problem is the business has changed. Now there's a lot of little breweries and a lot of big distributors.
Right.
Yeah.
So the balance of power has shifted, and now the little breweries have no power over these big distributors.
Mm.
So going back to the story on Meetings Over,
Yeah.
we're sitting at a meeting with our distributor, and we asked them to politely release us from one obligation we had with him. And he pounded his fist on the table and said, "This meeting's over." Kicked us out of his office. Literally kicked us out of his office.
I've gotten thrown out of a few offices in
And
my time.
you were his client.
Technically, yes.
I guess you have to have him,
technically,
but he does work for you.
yes. Technically, yes. If
He
you
knows
want,
you
yes,
need-
they
you need
pay,
him,
but
but-
they pay me, right? So I supplied them with. They pay me,
Yeah.
but yeah. Ultimately, we came back. We
Meeting's
said we need a big double IPA.
Mhm.
We're going to call that Meetings Over, and that's how that beer came.
I
about.
love it.
Yeah.
I love that kind of things. I'm glad you were able to turn it around to your advantage.
Yes.
Unlike me, I've gotten thrown out when I was a sports columnist and when I was a political columnist at the Sun Sentinel. I can't tell you how many places I've been thrown out of. They didn't end up paying me at the end of the day. Hey, let's take a second break.
Let's do it.
Chef Fergus, thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure. This food is
Thank you for
fantastic.
having
I
me.
didn't even try the
Oh,
sausage.
you have to.
Stu, yeah. Lamb
Absolutely.
pie is absolutely fantastic. This meat sandwich, I'm making love to it here on the plate, which will continue after the show. We're doing a double header today, too. We're going to be at Corvina
Yes.
later on
Boca
for their
Raton.
social hour. Eddie Pizzoli, who's killing it with all his different restaurants. Eddie and Vinny's just opened Coral Springs. And we're going to do a little, I guess, Let's Eat South Florida breakdown,
Judging,
critiquing the critiques. A person who went into Eddie and Vinny's wrote this long post on Let's Eat South Florida. And the only time he registered displeasure was after the meal when he already paid the check, and they have these the automatic handheld things now, and it says, "How's your experience?" and it has a smiley face and a frowny face. The guy hits frowny face after not saying a word the whole meal. This must drive you wild about social media.
Yep.
So when they get the frowny face, the GM comes right out to him and says, "Excuse me, what was wrong?" And then he talked about a couple of things, but not even everything that he then went on to Let's Eat. And everything from the beer was warm to the bread was burnt to the orecchiette was actually shells and not ears, and like just everything.
It was very nitpicky stuff.
And it was like, oh, it was celery, not broccoli rabe, which is complete BS because
It
there
is
is
broccoli
no
rabe.
there is no celery on the line
No.
at that restaurant.
No, he
Eddie
was lying.
Pizzoli went nuts over the weekend, and we had a nice little healthy text exchange. Actually, I kind of
Well, 'cause
stirred the
they've been
pot because I sent him the post originally, and
No, you're a piece of work.
but yeah, but the bottom line is that okay. Let me explain how it works, and I'm going to do this later on at Corvina. If somebody brings in, this guy ordered a bottle of Modelo, and he said
That was
later on, a
warm.
day after the fact on Let's Eat, it was warm. Okay, if you get a beer that's served to you that's warm, and you're
You tell
expecting an
them
ice cold
then.
beer, it's like this is a LESF lunchbox exclusive. Here's how you send back a warm beer. This beer is warm. I'm just example. This beer is not warm. This is good.
Yeah, it's great.
But then you say, "Oh, excuse me, waiter. This beer is a little warm. Do you think I could get one that's colder?"
Let's say it's
Problem solved.
they'll run out with a new beer.
And the way
Like, why
not to
wouldn't
do it, the way that enrages everybody, and I get on my high horse about this. Don't say anything, and then you know at the end of the meal you put on a frowny face, and then a day later you go into a group with 200,000 people on it and say the beer was warm, like that. That after the fact stuff, it drives me wild, and it's reason number 152,732 why I will never own a restaurant or get into this business.
Yeah.
Jonathan
You guys are
and
saints.
Fergus, thank you for doing what you did. How do you handle that, by the way?
We were just recently actually dealing with something similar. I would appreciate that the comments come at the time
Here.
of service when you're here, so we can
Fix
do
it.
what needs to be done to fix it.
Mistakes happen.
We want everybody to leave here having the best experience. We don't want you to come here and have a beer that you didn't enjoy. If you didn't enjoy the beer, if I serve you this beer and you don't like this style of beer, tell us. We'll happily swap it out for you.
Right.
If there's something that we
And-
made that isn't
And
up
do you
to your
give
par,
samples? Like people
Yes,
could like
absolutely.
say, "Hey,
And
I
it's
don't
a
know if I
brewery.
like the wheat
Absolutely.
beer. Can I try a little sample
100%.
before I order 12 ounces?"
100%. 100%. We can do tastings. We also have the flights. I mean, there's many ways for you to get what you want, which is what we want. We want you to get what you want so that you can leave happy.
Yeah.
That's what every restaurateur wants.
You'd think it's common sense, and it's Mr.
This is work.
business.
You're trying to ruin a reputation.
Yeah.
Like you under a fight here. Like come establishment where they're gonna acquiesce. Most places will do whatever the heck
Yeah,
you want to
absolutely.
keep
They
you
want to
happy.
make you happy. They want you to come
100%.
back. They want you to tell all
100%.
your friends how great they are. And even if you don't, and this is the thing, as a critic, to err is human, to forgive divine, and to atone, every place can make a mistake because we're all human.
Yep.
It's how they recover from the mistake. How do
Yes.
they handle trying to make you happy? And then you can come on social media and say, the guy didn't give a crap and he didn't do anything to make me happy.
That's a different
Fine.
story. Yeah, that's fine.
But if you don't say anything, all right, I'm done with this. Chef Fergus, congratulations. I just had a
Thank
bite of the sausage stew. The layers of flavor in that, I don't know if you call it broth or gravy or whatever the stew. It's higher level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well, it looks thick too, which I love. Like it's not just like the see-through. It looks. I know it's hard to see it on there, but it's really thick.
Yeah.
no, it's good. It's a good.
It's a hearty base for the stew.
Well,
It's really good.
Congrats on the
Thank you.
launch. Again, 26 Degrees Brewing, lunch, dinner, everything in between, all day, every day, and lunch specials. Do you have anything else like happy hours here?
We have happy hour. Yeah, every day we have happy hour Monday through Friday from open till 6.
Oh, nice.
Dollar off beers.
Nice.
We're still trying to figure out the happy hour food menu. But in the meantime, we have the lunch menu.
Oh,
So
good. And what are you looking forward to this summer? Because obviously it's a new endeavor, new kitchen. You're going to be playing around, adding items, and kind of maybe removing some things if they're not.
Yeah,
selling
well,
it.
so right now I'm just focused on developing staff a little more and creating relationships with the vendors, which we have some great vendors that we're working with right now. And like Jonathan and I talked, I think nail down the menu that we have now, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, absolutely. But I think we want to nail the menu we have down right now. We want everyone in Pompano to get the warmest welcome and try all the dishes first, and like you said, get that feedback, and once we get the feedback, see what's working, see what isn't working, and kind of adjust from there. Usually when you have a menu and you roll it out, you don't want to just
Oh yeah, you gotta sit with it a little bit.
give it some time.
It's like Seinfeld and sitcoms. You got to wait a couple of months, and because it
Get into your
sometimes
groove.
finds its groove.
Yep.
They would have canceled these
No,
days.
yeah, yeah.
Seinfeld would never have made it to the second
No,
season.
and it happens with a lot of restaurants too.
So-
And I appreciate the restaurants that are
Keep-
able to
Yeah.
play things out a little bit and get your footing.
But based on my early tastings here, I mean,
I think everything's
this lamb pie is one of the best things I've tasted this whole year at any restaurant, never mind brewery, brew pub, anything like that. That is an outstanding dish. I mean, that page, I love everything about it. And I love this sandwich. I'm making love to it after the show. And I have the, I mean, I could go on and on.
Yep.
I congratulate you for bringing the food, Chef Fergus,
Thanks for having
Jonathan.
me.
Let's take our second break. And afterwards, Chef Fergus, you are dismissed. And then we're
Thanks
going to
for
keep
having me.
Jonathan around. We'll make him endure the whole hour. We're going to
He's
bring
a
on the
professor.
professor.
He's a big brewery
He's a
guy.
big brewery guy, restaurant.
He's a restaurateur. He's
a
a cuisine guy himself.
and we'll talk a little golf. He's a big Scotty Scheffler fan. I know he's ecstatic about the PGA tournament win. And we also got to do a contest. We got a four-way tiebreaker.
Oh wow!
And there's going to be a winner of the brunch package at 10 Palms at Gulfstream and the new wrinkle, a runner-up. There's going to be two people drawn from this bag. The second place runner-up will get a $25 gift card to Taco Craft and to the 4 Taco Craft locations. We'll do that in the last segment after these words on the Lunchbox from 26 to. When people ask me about the best restaurants in South Florida, Casa D'Angelo is always at the top of my list. First-class dining, top-flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef-founder Angelo Ilia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good, with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner. Reservations recommended. For a special occasion or any occasion, Casa D'Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. Hey, it's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk and Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for a Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays, including their new burrilla tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. Kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Southern comfort food from a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar, a great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, and also now with a new location on Las Olas Boulevard. Those are my spots. Upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. If you want great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting, have I got the place for you. Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria. Fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasto platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi. Fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed. Hey, we're back on the Lunchbox. We're going into a little bit of overtime. We're having so much fun here with proprietor Jonathan at 26 Degrees Brewing Company in Pompano Beach, celebrating 10th anniversary in
Yeah,
September.
that's so cool.
And now 1 month of food service. It started April 17th, and here we are on May 19th. Congratulations. Any big celebrations planned for the 10th later this year?
Not sure. We're working on things. We're doing a party every 26th of every month.
Oh, nice.
Just so happens that Memorial Day lands on the 26th this year.
Oh boy.
So we're having a big Memorial Day
Nice.
celebration. We're having live music. We'll have food specials.
Oh, wow.
We'll have drink specials. Yeah. But every 26th, we're doing something. We'll probably come up with something for our anniversary, which is around the 26th of September.
Which I happen to think falls right on Rosh Hashanah for those of the Jewish persuasion.
There you go.
Lubie, me, you, but we'll figure it
Yeah,
out.
it'll be fine.
We'll get this information
It's a celebratory
It
day.
is a celebration.
from.
I was going to say, which one is Rosh Hashanah?
That's
Is
the
that
New
the one
Year.
you have to
That's
be
New
in?
Year.
That's-
Oh,
yeah,
it's
New
Happy
Year.
New Year. You
You
can
can
do
drink.
everything.
That's
Yeah,
not the
you
one where you
can-
have to be in temple and be miserable.
No, that's
No,
Yom
no, no,
Kippur.
no.
Oh,
Okay.
that's the next.
That's when you atone. That's 10 days after the New Year.
Got it.
You party too hard. And,
Yeah, this is New Year. There you
now
go.
that we have an American Pope, we can get dispensation from the American Pope
There you go.
to celebrate a 26 degrees.
I don't know. I
on
mean,
Rosh Hashanah.
He
But-
is a White Sox fan. By that time of year, he might be kind of miserable.
Yeah. We welcome back to the show. It's been a while. Ken, the professor, we figured, well, you're a guy who likes his beer.
He's a big beer
likes
maker.
his
I am.
good food,
Yes,
and
I am.
former restaurateur right across the street, but a Pompano guy.
Yes.
What do you think? Have you been in here a bunch over the last decade?
I have been in here a bunch over the last decade, probably not in the last few years. Since
Okay.
I moved to Lighthouse, I've gotten down here less than I should have. But I've always liked this place. The last time I can remember, and it's probably been more recent than that, was they did a big fundraiser for the MSD shootings. And we had a really good time for a good cause that day.
Nice. Well, I mean, I'm glad your impressions of the new food menu.
It's excellent. It's, to me, very reminiscent of like a classic German beer house menu, which completely appropriate for the venue, I would think. And it's not something, honestly, you see a lot of in South Florida. We got a few good German places around here, but they're more German dinners than German beer house. Actually, it's funny, when I used to hang out at the Ambry, owner and chef there, Hans, was always saying, my favorite place in Munich, it's only got 3 menu items every day, and I've always wanted to open it, and it's open air, and they grill burgers or steaks or whatever, 3 things a day, and it's always excellent. And that's sort of what this reminds me, is that classic German beer house vibe, and it's everything I've tasted has been really good, particually the wings. Very high compliment to the chef on the wings.
And the thing is, you talk German beer hall, but it's not just, schnitzels and the wurst. You've got, the Irish component with Chef Fergus, and, you're having your sausage stews and your
and you got
lamb
some South Florida
pies,
with the gator and the conch.
Gator, and then you have the wings with the Haitian, the
griot
touch. I mean, I think you've hit on all cylinders here in terms of encompassing multicultural, multi-ethnic, and everything is really tasty.
Quality too, which is great.
We have tequeños on the menu as well. A little homage to my Venezuelan heritage.
Okay, so you're Venezuelan.
I'm originally Venezuelan.
Well. Okay, I did not know this.
Yeah. I hide it well.
These days kind of have to.
I'm legal. Yes.
Hey, we got to do a contest. I'm going to let Jonathan do the honors. All right, here's how it works, because every Monday after we have the Friday show at Gulfstream 10 Palms. Are you a horse player?
I am not.
Well, that's it's good.
Good for you.
You don't have to be a horse player to enjoy 10 Palms at Gulfstream. They have a wonderful Sunday brunch buffet. And we have a contest that awards a winner with a brunch package for 2, Sunday brunch for 2 at 10 Palms. It's an all-day affair. There's no 2-hour time limit. You can come in there at 11:30, start with the breakfast, omelet buffet, then go on to lunch, then have dessert. And again, it's all day with the live racing. It also includes a mimosa. Usually it's only $55 per person with tax and tip. But Joe Beja, and he's coming off a great week at the Preakness there, because the parent company also ran and owned and operated the Preakness Steaks in Pimlico.
Not as much fun as it used to be.
No, but now they're knocking it down, and now they're going to be relocating for a few years. But in any event, we are going to be drawing winners now. Yes. So here's what happened last week. We always have first the restaurant this week in conjunction with the Preakness, which more means crabs and beer. We did a place down in Dania Beach that where I said you should either wear earplugs or take Advil, because those banging wooden mallets will drive you crazy.
I got a pretty good guess.
You know what it is?
I'm guessing the Rustic Inn.
Yes, that is the answer. Jim Sarney, shame on you. He knows every little bit of minutia, esoterica, useless information that he texts to us every freaking minute. Jim Sarney, former colleague, friend, he sent in an entry that had
wasn't out Hooters or Twin
Tarks. It's like, how did I think you get Tarks?
Tarks was more clams and oysters, but Tarks was also good back in the day.
Yeah, but I'm talking about
they didn't do that thing.
No,
crabs, Maryland crabs, garlic crabs, banging mallets. That's Rustic Inn.
because I happen to know he watches the show semi-regularly. Let me send a shout out to Jay Cho.
Oh, nice.
Who now moves up in Georgia, because the last time I was at the Rustic Inn was for C-Day, and he put a what's the guy's name? The Japanese eater guy.
Oh, Kobayashi.
He put a Kobayashi-like performance.
On
those
crabs.
He ate about, I don't know, at least a half a dozen of those big crabs.
Rustic Inn was a favorite of my late poker buddy Sean. When he had a big score in Tampa for $200K a couple of years ago. He took out all of us to Rustic Inn, and we went crazy. And we did a little bit of a Kobayashi there, but I miss Sean. Also, this one's to you. All right, so Rustic Inn was the restaurant.
Okay. And then the race.
The Gulfstream race was the Roar Steaks, and it went to number 4 for me, Most Handsome.
There you go.
Number 4. There was also a scratch, and Most Handsome was the favorite. So the number 2 also got to advance. And then we got to the Preakness. Journalism. Journalism lives. Some little controversy. Did he go through a hole that didn't exist? Should he have been disqualified? I say no, because
I don't know enough about horse racing.
Well, Defo has opinions, but I thought
it seems to be split. Half the people are experts say he should have been taken down, and half the people are experts say no. when the hole closes like that, you can move to the outside.
Look, the stewards all unanimously agreed that he was going for a hole that, although it was small, he was entitled to, and it was the Baffert horse that slammed into him, which in turn caused the train reaction, and the journalism slammed into the number 8 horse, who is the wise guy horse, Clever Again. And what does Defo say? When you get clever, don't get too cute.
Don't get too cute. Yep.
And those wise guy horses never win. He might have been in the contention if he didn't get slammed. He totally lost all chance. The 8 got knocked out of it. But
Baffert like on his villain arc now?
Yeah, he is.
That called cheating.
I guess he really is.
He does. He's the Joker.
He doesn't
now.
even care. He's just trying to screw with people.
He's gonna
Didn't
grow.
at the Belmont, he sent one out just to
spite everybody, just to be a
no, he ran a rabbit trying to run everybody else out, and then the horse.
That's a spite race. It's like Larry David opened the spite coffee store. Our Baffert is now just saddling spite horses in all these races. Anyway, we got 4 people who had all 3 components right, and among them, Amy Morantz. Congratulations, newlywed. They just got married in Vegas. Her and Steve, our friend Steve Eckert, Amy Morantz. Amy Morantz is in the bag. Jonathan Sam, first time looking for a first win. Frank Coletti, and much to Joanne's chagrin, one of the Koch, Gregory V. Koch, is in the bag. We got 4 in the bag. I'm going to let.
Why does Joanne hate the Koches?
They're just always in it. There's like 80 of them. They got cousins, their aunts, their uncles.
We
and Mayo never made a rule. Look, as long as you have a different email.
It's like one person, one vote. It's not one entry per household. We are in America.
And they've worked the system really well. They won a lot.
Also, they have like fake email.
The Koch family.
No, they just tell everyone they've ever met in their life.
Oh, okay. Well, if they're tuning in to answer the questions,
it's like, remember when the Dolphins drafted the entire Ginn family? It's like every time we have a contest, we get the entire Koch family.
Do you remember how upset everybody was that we didn't take Brady Quinn with that pick?
Yeah, that would have been
Brady
so much
Quinn
better.
Was awful.
Yeah, and then Brady Quinn, all he was good at is knocking Lubie and Defo off the air.
It's worked out.
All right, Jonathan, I'm going to have you. The first selection will be for the grand prize of the lunchbox, brunch bash for 2.
Yeah, you can open it up.
Brunch for 2
he
at
makes
10
it into
pounds.
the tiniest thing ever for some
And these are fentanyl slips. Oh, not that we're supposed to.
I definitely root for New.
Jonathan Sam, congratulations!
Nice.
You are a first-time winner of the brunch package for 2 at 10 pounds at Gulfstream Park.
Enjoy it.
And now we have our runner-up prize, a $25 gift card at Taco Craft, 4 locations throughout Broward. Mark Falsetto, we love. And the runner-up this week is Frank Coletti.
Nice.
Frank Coletti.
Okay, so we got
and with apologies to Amy Morantz, congratulations on your nuptials, and to the entire Koch family. But we have a winner, Jonathan Sam. Frank Coletti, runner-up.
Nice.
And
one more break.
Jonathan. Yeah, I guess it would only make sense that a Jonathan would pick a Jonathan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good man.
Wait, we don't have any more breaks.
We do.
We do have one more break?
We do.
How is this possible?
We've been talking a lot.
I thought we did 3. All right, let's take one more break. I'll eat some more. I feel like Jonathan
we can
needs
drink more beer.
Let's do that. Let's
Also
go.
a good idea.
Say L'chaim, Mazel Tov. Here's to the Panthers.
Yes.
Here's to Scotty Scheffler.
Here's
gonna throw it in your face.
eliminating the entire country of Canada from the Stanley Cup.
They're not done yet.
Edmonton.
I
Watch out for
know.
Edmonton.
I'm saying
The Panthers can do that.
moving
if they
forward,
keep
let's
going,
go
yeah.
Dallas and/or the Eastern Conference winner.
All right. We'll be back after this. I thought we did 3.
I was trying to tell you no.
Hey, Lunchbox fans, is it time to sell your business? You've poured your heart and soul into your restaurant or business, and you want to see continue the legacy you have built. Transworld can help. Call me, Andy Cagnetta, at Transworld Business Advisors right now and see if it's time for you to retire and relax. Iconic brands like the Mai Kai, Mulligans, Carlos and Pepe's, Mangoes, and many more turn to Transworld to help sell. Contact Transworld on Facebook or call 954-772-1122 or visit tworld.com. Again, that's 954-772-1122 or tworld.com.
When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks. They're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Guess who's back and better than ever? Juan's. For the best in classic old school Chinese cuisine, a family run South Florida favorite since 1966. It's at 664 North Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, open every day but Tuesday for lunch and dinner. Chef Alex is carrying on the family tradition that started 4 generations ago. It used to be known as Christina Juan's Mandarin House, and you're going to love it as Juan's. They've got all your favorites: wonton soup, spare ribs, egg rolls, dumplings, Peking duck, and more. Combo lunch specials daily and takeout and delivery. For more information, go to their Instagram page at wans.fl. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox, Mayo, and Defo sent you. Feel like getting away without leaving town? Then you got to check out the House on the River in Fort Lauderdale. It's a beautiful restored historic home with indoor and outdoor dining right on the new river. You'll think you're in Charleston or Savannah. It has a gorgeous patio, porches, and private dining areas, and it offers unique experiences perfect for a date night or fun times with friends and family. It has weekend brunches, happy hour, dinner Wednesday through Sunday. There's also a high tea on Friday and Saturdays, and the popular House of Veuve Champagne experience on weekends. The House on the River is in Fort Lauderdale's Himmershey district, just south of the Science Museum. For reservations and all right, we're back. We did it. I got to give major props to proprietor owner Jonathan here at 26 Degrees, because for the first time ever, I lost complete track of how many breaks we took, because when you put 9.4% ABV beverages in front of me, and I am defeating Ozempic like a champ today.
You
I am
are.
just like,
That's not the goal.
I juiced this morning. I thought maybe I'd be a little bit off my game today, but no, I am doing big bites. I am chugging beers.
That's the highest praise, I guess, for your food.
We'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take it.
I hope we can do it again sometime.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
Sure.
Professor, do you have any parting words of wisdom? And aside from the fact that
If you have not, I am a local. I still can, even though I live in Lighthouse Points, I still consider myself a Pompano local. I live, 2 streets down for 20 years or for 10 years. Much wider variety of food choices than when we both opened about a decade ago. But if you have not been here for the food, I would totally recommend come in here for a little bite to eat, because everything I have tasted has been excellent, and there's a nice variety. If you want the lamb pot pie, which I have not sampled yet,
It's
but everybody
fantastic.
says
you gotta have that,
It's
Professor.
fantastic.
or if you're more in the mood
You
for
know me, I don't dish out praise very lightly.
Yeah. If
and,
you're more in the mood for an apps type of dish, what I'm saying is that's also available.
Yep.
So come on in and give it a shot, because in my experience, limited experience, it's excellent, and the beer, top notch.
Again, lunch, dinner, 2600. And explain, 26 degrees. Some people think that refers to the temperature of the beer.
No.
No, it is.
No, it's a line of latitude. South Florida, Lake Okeechobee.
Right here.
Lake Okeechobee down to Hallandale Beach Boulevard is the 26th parallel.
Yes.
Actually, you know, I'm going to give this place the biggest Pompano compliment. Pompano exclusive comment. You know what this reminds me of, Lubie? Reminds me a little bit of Brother Tucker's
wondering
with
if you
the
were gonna say
beard
that.
and the.
Oh, you know Brother Tucker's.
Yes,
I heard of the lore.
Oh, it was
And
really cool.
that again.
The beer is very and the dishes are very reminiscent of
Yes,
that.
if you're a longtime Pompano
That place
person,
was
this is
ridiculous.
very reminiscent of Brother Tucker's. to me.
That's actually the that was our favorite place to go to. So those who miss Brother Tucker's, this does actually hit that note very well.
And while we're on the topic of high praise, it's always gratifying during the show. I get texts from various people in the biz, in the industry. And basically, Roberto from
Yes, he's
Union
watching.
Kitchen.
He's watching right now. Yeah,
He
yeah.
says, "I'm watching the
Love
26
him.
degree moon. Love what they did with the, with the new food menu, the kitchen, and they live next door. Him and Christy
Oh,
that own and operate
nice.
Union Kitchen and Bar in Wilton
Oh.
Manors, one of my favorite restaurants too.
Yeah,
Great
it's great.
place, great date night place. And it's nice to see that everybody in the community supports each other. And this place is comfortable. It's one of these spacious kind of industrial, exposed ducts and ceiling stuff, but it's not too loud. It's
No.
very comfortable. You have your own spot to spread out, have your meal, have your beers,
Plenty of TVs.
watch TV, play the sporting event,
games and all
watch
that
the sporting event, play the sporting event, I mean playing on your betting
Yeah,
apps
the action.
because I'm a total degenerate too. Jonathan, job well done.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
And this was a lot better than the 2J's matzo balls. I'm saying.
Yeah, that's
Sorry,
right.
Chef Dan-
Comparable.
Danny. How did you do? I thought you had a palate on you. Oh my God! But all right, we'll let that sleeping dog lie. We're gonna be back later because we got to get some. We're gathering
Seafood in our life.
acorns, like the squirrels, because I'm going away next month, and we got to
Okay.
get some extra shows and contents in the bin. But we will be broadcasting live later today from Corvina
Corvina,
Seafood
nice.
Grill with our friend Eddie Pozzoli about 5 o'clock. I don't know what time we're starting.
Sounds right.
But we're going to talk about how to send back a warm beer, how to tell the difference between orchetti and shells, and if that's a problem to you. To me, it seems like a first world problem. Let me ask you this, Ken.
If you're gonna ask me the difference between orchetti and shells, on the little
If
ridges.
if you went to like an Italian restaurant, it said or broccoli rabe and sausage and an olive oil sauce, olive oil.
Yeah, I got it.
Drizzle. Yeah.
Drizzle. And they bring out something that's curved, and it's something that captures the sausage and it's like a curved, small, compact pasta. And maybe it doesn't have ridges, or maybe it doesn't look like Evander Holyfield's ear.
Oh my God.
Are you gonna go on social media and just go on full
you're done wrong.
blast?
He doesn't.
I
do that for
mean,
anything.
no, because I've been on. Can I do this joke? Luke?
Yeah, well, go ahead.
I
There's too
follow the
much, but go
very
for it.
strict rule of fighting on the internet is like being in the Special Olympics.
Oh God,
Even if you win, you're still.
it's like you're punching
Blank.
down.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's punching down.
Nobody likes to punch.
Yeah.
No, it's not punch out. It's just how stupid it is to do because
Yeah,
the
yeah,
whole
yeah,
internet
yeah,
is
yeah.
just crazy people arguing about stupid things.
Yes.
And that's no offense to anybody in the Special Olympics.
No,
We
no.
have nothing but
no,
admiration for
no,
people
no,
who
no.
compete at everything.
It's just a point of
Jonathan is cringing now. We're up to
just
the
all these
bench.
people.
I don't know these guys.
It's no.
Hey,
Look,
come
he's
on
a
out.
restaurateur. He knows the people who are on Yelp.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Do know the
They're a much lower life form.
Who honestly, the best people are con men just trying to get you to give them free food. Those are the
Right.
best part of the
Right.
audience.
And that's what I think was happening.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
were
no, I think it was a hit
angling-
job,
They
yeah.
were angling
I'm
for.
not trying to be mean, but it just felt like that.
Yeah. So anyway, on the evolutionary scale, there's the Yelpers,
Whatever.
and then the people
Just
that are.
when you have an issue, tell them. They will make
Yes,
it
that's
better. Come to 26 degrees. I find it hard to believe you'll have an issue.
That's it. All right, man. We got through it.
Yep.
Jonathan, thank you.
Thank you guys.
Lubie, thank you.
Thank you.
Defo, Professor, Chef Fergus, all good here. We'll see you later today. Until then, enjoy every lamb pot pie, every sausage stew, and enjoy every monstrosity sandwich.